With the Black Ops 6 Season 3 update came a boatload of weapon tuning and 2 brand new weapons that are 100% in conversation for meta. So today, I'm gonna be giving you the new top 5 best guns to be using in Black Ops 6 right now for high kill gameplays and nukes. If any of these loadouts do help you out in any sort of way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click that thumbs up button, turn notifications on so you don't miss out on my future Black Ops 6 videos, and follow my Twitch live stream because I do live stream all of my gameplays over there. And with all that being said, man, let's get into the first loadout. We're gonna be starting off with what is, without a doubt, all hands down, the new best gun in all of Black Ops 6, the Kilo 141. And once we go over these attachments, you're gonna see a lot of these have so many more pros than other weapons in the game. The thing doesn't move whatsoever. Super strong. I mean, this is gonna be meta for a very long time. So for starters, I do like an optic on my Kilo. Kilo wasn't like a memorable weapon for its iron sights like the GRAU. We'll be taking a look at that one in a little bit, but you're gonna want to throw an optic on. The iron sights aren't all that good. Real quick, I'll show you them because it's been a minute. They're close, they're not bad, but you definitely want an optic on this, right? So whatever you want. I like the coupler microflox, just your standard red dot. For the muzzle, I went ahead and did compensator. Like I said, bro, you get vertical recoil control, but you also get recoil stabilization. You don't get this on compensator on other Black Ops 6 weapons. It makes the compensator so much better specifically for the Kilo. So I hope they make this change on other Black Ops 6 weapons. I then threw on long barrel. It grants you the biggest increase in damage range, making this eliminate enemies incredibly quick at those longer range engagements. People also argue to run damage range and bullet velocity barrel. They're reinforced. It really is up to you. I prefer the long barrel just because you get a little bit more damage range, which is nice. For the underbarrel, I have on vertical foregrip. Boatload of horizontal recoil control. The muzzle gave us vertical. We need some horizontal. That's what we get out of our underbarrel. And once again, more recoil stabilization. This just makes it a better attachment on this weapon than other weapons in the game. For the magazine, I have on extended mag 1. It's a 50 round mag. If you want to get crazy, go ahead and do the 100 by all means, but you're going to lose out on quite a bit of handling and mobility. Also, extended mag 1 is 50. That's more than enough. With how strong this is, you'll be fine. For the rear grip, I went ahead and I did quick draw grip. You get aim down sight speed, a lot of it at that. It makes it significantly more quick and snappy. For the stock, I do balance stock for strafing movement, overall movement, and aim walking movement. So you just bump up your mobility quite a bit, making this feel a little bit lighter, adds more fluidity to your gameplay. And then my final attachment, you kind of got to do it, right? Recoil springs. And again, this is buffed quite a bit. A boatload of vertical and horizontal recoil control and more of that recoil stabilization. I know some of you may want a 5 attachment build. You need to trust the process. Run gunfighter. Put this on now. It is the best gun in the game. Look at this. What are we talking about? Let's do some more. God gun. Don't even, no conversation. The best weapon in the game right now. And the other new weapon that found its way on this top 5, the CR56 AMAX. It is a tad bit slower than I'd like it to be, but it is such a strong weapon. Definitely stronger than the Kilo, just a little bit slower. So I like to throw an optic on this. Again, not a weapon, super memorable for its iron sights. I need to see a little bit better out of them. So coupler microflex we're gonna go with once again. For the muzzle, I do like to do the monolithic suppressor. You get a boatload of bullet velocity and damage range. It's like throwing a barrel on your muzzle. That's literally what this does. It's actually kind of cracked out, and we're off the radar due to that weapon being suppressed as well. Super good. Really happy to see the monolithic suppressor back. For the barrel, I think you're going to want to go ahead and do the reinforced. I don't have it unlocked. I have been running the long barrel. Works just as good. You are missing out on a little bit of bullet velocity, which you don't really need in multiplayer, but still, long barrel is going to do you wonders. It's going to drop enemies so much quicker at those longer range engagements. For the underbarrel, I went ahead and I did the Ranger foregrip. Like I said, this weapon is a little bit slower, but it is very, very accurate. I could easily say it's more accurate than the AMAX from before. This gives me sprinting movement speed, so I am adding a little bit of mobility to it, which it desperately needs, while also maintaining accuracy. For the magazine, extended mag 1 I think is more than enough. It is again, super strong. It hits like a truck. This is going to give you 45 rounds, and you could take out so many enemies without having to reload. For the rear grip, you have a few options here. I've been experimenting with commando since this was buffed. You get sprint to fire and aimed on sight, or you could do quick draw if you want to primarily focus on your aimed on sight. I prefer this over the commando specifically because I feel like I'm stationary most of the time when I'm using this. Like I'm kind of posted up. I'm already aiming down sights. I'm not really running around as much because it is a little bit slower. I'm kind of posted up like a sentry gun because it's so strong. Next, for the stock, I went ahead and I threw on the light stock. Movement speed, strafing movement speed, adding a lot of mobility to the weapon, which is much needed. And then the final attachment I don't have unlocked, but I'm going to go with recoil springs here, vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control on top of the brand newly added recoil stabilization. I don't have it unlocked, but you're gonna want to run that. Let me bring it to the firearm because I'm not known for giving you builds without the attachments I don't have unlocked. This is without recoil spring, so just imagine if you had it on. Ready? Come on. It's already very, very easy to control. Once you throw it on, it's gonna solidify the recoil control and it's not gonna move a single goddamn muscle. So AMAX, Kilo, both super good, and I couldn't be any happier with weapons from the past being meta. Let's take a break from the long range weapons and take a look at a close range one, that being the C9. The Jackal got a massive nerf. I mean, I'm talking left goddamn hook to the jaw. The thing got completely obliterated. So I think what's gonna replace it is the C9. People were already using this in ranked play, so now that the Jackal got a nerf, it's time for this to shine, and here's what I like to run on it. Reinforced barrel, you get damage range, you get bullet velocity. Best of both worlds, it's gonna make it very strong and usable in those longer range engagements. For the underbarrel, I like to run the vertical foregrip. You get more horizontal recoil control than you would out of the Ranger, and you need it. The recoil pattern is a little odd in my opinion, and the vertical foregrip definitely helps control it. For the rear grip, I like to do ergonomic grip. We get slide to fire, dive to fire, aim down sight, jumping, aim down sight. You get more out of ergonomic than you did previously, making this just so much better, and I was already using it. So when I'm sliding into gunfights, my weapon's just up quicker, so it helps me win those a little bit more easily. For the stock, it is up to you. Most people like to run balanced, but I like the increase in strafing movement I get when I have the infiltrator stock on. I feel like I'm able to move side to side a little bit quicker, which is really nice. And then the final attachment is recoil springs, where you get best of both worlds, horizontal and vertical recoil control. At this point, the thing doesn't move. I know most of you are going to want to run a magazine. If you want to do that, go ahead, take off the stock. I would recommend keeping recoil springs on, and then you could throw on a magazine here if you'd like. But this is what I like to use. C9 strong, I don't think you need a magazine on it. Again, it doesn't really move too much. It's pretty easy to use. Even at a range, like, it may take you a little bit of time to land your shots, but with practice, it's gonna be fine. I'll try to fight that gunfight again, but you can see the strafing movement is actually insane. Look how much you're moving. This is actually crazy. And then, there we go. See, a little bit more accurate that time around. But yeah, C9's a great option, especially after that Jackal nerf. And while we're on the topic of SMGs, let me give you an alternative option if you don't care for the C9. We have the KSV. Now, this was actually just straight up banned from the CDL because of how good it is. And these are the 5 attachments most pro players use. We got the compensator. When it comes to recoil patterns, this one has probably the wonkiest of them all. So it's really important to have these attachments on. Compensator for the vertical recoil control. Underbarrel, make sure you have the vertical foregrip on. So again, muzzle gives us vertical, this gives us horizontal. Definitely gonna need both in this situation. For the barrel, I have on reinforced. Again, this just helps us engage in longer range engagements and be successful. You get damage range, bullet velocity. Still keep it ergonomic on because again, it's buffed. I was already using it before, so it makes it even better. And then the stock is going to be balanced stock here, which you get aim walking, overall just movement, strafing movement. So adds quite a bit of mobility so you can keep up with other SMGs of this nature. And boom, just like that, we got our 5 attachments on for the KSV. You don't need 8 for this. Bring this John to the firing range. Watch this. Ready? Boom. Boom. You might have to hit that reload. No magazine on this. No worries though. A little bit easier to fight all those longer ranges. But yeah, I think these 2 SMGs are probably taking the cake over that Jackal now. It's still gonna be a great option, don't get me wrong, but I'd highly recommend just taking a look at the C9 and the KSV. And arguably saving the best for last, we have ourselves the SWAT 556. Not really. We got the GRAU conversion kit for this bad boy. So it literally turns into the GRAU. We got the Archangel barrel on it, turns it full auto, and it actually makes it viable and it makes it able to compete with other actual assault rifles in the game. They should just added the weapon itself, but it's fine. At least it's here in the game somehow, in some shape or form. Again, full auto conversion kit. It unlocks a full auto magazine that we're gonna put on. We get movement speed, and obviously it has to give us vertical and horizontal recoil control. You do lose out on what? Gun kick, damage range. I'm gonna be honest, you don't notice any of those cons whatsoever. So throw on the kit. This is a necessity, so you can actually use the GRAU. Next, we're gonna put on the magazine. It told us to use the full auto extended. We get a 50 round magazine, and this actually comes with recoil stabilization, making it more accurate. Can't argue that. And we want this to be like a true GRAU. We need it to be 0 recoil. One of those attachments is gonna have to be the compensator, where you get vertical recoil control. I know people are going to want to do the monolithic for the good time's sake. It has so much kick to it. It's actually not even the best option. So run the compensator. Underbarrel, you're going to want to do the vertical foregrip for the horizontal recoil control. I kind of wish it looked like the Commando foregrip, you know, for old time's sake. It is what it is. I ain't gonna complain. We get vertical foregrip out of it. For the rear grip, I actually like the quick draw grip. It just makes it significantly more quick and snappy, which is obviously like a welcome change. For the stock, I did the infiltrator just so I could strafe faster. Just kind of gives me more OG GRAU feeling. And last attachment, or I mean, not really last attachment, but for me, last attachment, I like to do the target laser. I know people like to run the tack laser on their GRAUs in the past. It gave you more accuracy, and that's what this does as well. So for old time sake, once again, throw that on. Now for the final attachment, you can throw an optic on, but it kind of ruins like the OG GRAU iron sights, which they come with right here. They look really nice. The thing doesn't move. Again, you lose damage putting this on, but clearly not, right? The thing doesn't move, but if you want to run an optic, again, you have an open attachment to do so, and you know, feel free to do it if that's what you desire. Personally, I don't, but here's the rest of my loadouts that that I enjoy running. I got the Grakova as always. I got stim shots, the blast traps, and the scrambler. Never change those. My perks, I got scavenger to get ammo for my weapon back. I got hunter's instinct. After I get a kill, my minimap actually points me in the direction of where the next enemy's at. Really convenient. Slipstream actually raises your base movement speed, making you move quicker. And then we get Enforcer. After you get a kill, you get a little bit of a movement speed bonus and health regeneration bonus as well, which is really, really helpful. So that's for the 8 attachment builds. Whenever I run 5 attachments like those subs I was giving you, I like to do Gung Ho so I can run and reload at the same time. Forward intel is so overpowered. Just look at my mini map anytime I use it. And then I do perk greed as a wild card instead of gunfighter, and then I throw on scavenger. So a little bit of a different setup there, but try these subs out for yourselves, man. Love what you guys think of them. What weapons did I forget? Which one is your favorite that I gave you? But other than that, it's gonna have today's video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Doses.